Hello, and welcome to Focused Wherever. In this video, I'm pitting 4 Griot's Garage tire dressings against each other to see how they shine and how durable they are. At the end, I'll pick my winner. So with that as the goal, let's get focused. The car wheels and tires have just been cleaned, as you can probably see from the rusty rotors. But to make sure there's nothing left on the tires, I'm going to go around all 4 and treat them with this rubber prep. All 4 tires have been thoroughly cleaned with the rubber prep, so I'm ready to start applying the products. I'm going to start here in the right rear, go counterclockwise around the car, and I've ordered them from what I think will be the lowest gloss to the highest gloss. I'm going to be following the instructions that are printed on the packaging, and if they offer different gloss levels, I'm going to be going with the higher of the 2 options. So in this back right corner, we'll start off with the vinyl and rubber dressing. Then we'll have the long-lasting tire dressing, black shine, and the black shine aerosol. Vinyl and rubber dressing. Long-lasting tire dressing. Black shine high gloss spray. I can tell right away this sprayer isn't working right. So we'll have to spread it around. Black shine tire and trim coating. So I went around to each of the 4 tires and touched up any uneven spots. I moved the car temporarily to do the bottom edge and then put it back and just did one last pass around each tire to even out the product. Then I let more than the recommended drying time elapse, 30 minutes for most of them. It's been quite a bit more than that, so they all should be dry. So we're starting here with the vinyl and rubber dressing, and the result here is very, very matte finish. Very little gloss at all. Pretty even in terms of the appearance of the dry look. It looks good, but if you like gloss, this is not for you. It has virtually no gloss at all. Next up is the long-lasting tire dressing. This one ended up more glossy than I was expecting. I can't say that this was my favorite in terms of ease of use. I found because it's a fairly thin product, it pulls off the tire too easily. So it takes very, very light pressure to get it to stay on the rubber. And even so, I don't know if it'll come through on the camera, it's a bit streaky, not very even. So some gloss, but not a very uniform finish with this one. Here is the Black Shine High Gloss Tire Spray. This is one with the defective sprayer, so the packaging indicates that if you spray it directly on the tire, you'll end up with a higher gloss finish. I sprayed it on as much as I could, but I used a towel and a applicator pad to spread it around, so that effectively is the lower gloss result. That being said, I actually like the finish of this one quite a bit. It's got some decent gloss, similar, slightly less glossy, but similar to the long-lasting on the other side. But this one's definitely more of a uniform finish, so good result, not good packaging. And finally, the Black Shine tire and trim coating. This one is very glossy. Like I said, it's been quite a long time that it's had to dry. And this is the only one that I have a concern with Sling once I go out and drive, but definitely the most glossy of the four. Pretty uniform, but this one had a lot of overspray, so took a little bit of extra cleanup, but definitely the shiniest. I took the car out for a drive to see what each of the four does in terms of Sling. Starting here with the vinyl and rubber dressing. No obvious signs of Sling there, but put the paper towel on it. Yeah, no Sling with this one. That's to be expected. It dries pretty much completely on the tire quite quickly. So very good result there. Long-lasting tire dressing. Inside the wheel well, don't see much in the way of Sling. Let's see what the paper towel produces here. Just a tiny bit, but not bad at all. Very little Sling with this one. Black Shine spray. Those dots a little further in there are just water, not product. Out here where it would show, it's looking pretty good as well. Put the paper towel on that. Yeah, similar to the long-lasting tire dressing. Very, very little Sling. However, with this one, I do see that it looks like where it may have been holding some in some of the lettering and not completely dry, that it's coming out of there a little bit. Not bad, just another wipe will even that out. But in terms of spraying it up in the wheel well, this one performed well. And finally, the Black Shine tire and trim coating. This one is definitely showing some signs of Sling. Not terrible, but definitely the most of all four. The other thing with this one too is, despite having quite a long time now to dry before the test drive, it's still so sticky that it's picking up dust or sand or something from the road and actually trapping it in the spray. So while it's definitely the glossiest, I don't know if that's a worthwhile trade-off to have it picking up stuff like that. I'll check on it later, see if it dries even more, but certainly gave it plenty of time to dry before it went on a drive. I'm all done with the car for now. I'm gonna leave all four tires the way they are, and over the next 2 weeks, this car will be daily driven. It's August here in Florida, so that means it's very hot and it rains a lot. So in that time, we'll get a pretty good idea of how each of the four holds up. One more test area here, bringing all four products together. I applied them to a new unmounted tire. Starting out here with the vinyl and rubber dressing. Virtually no gloss, but a nice uniform matte finish. Next is the Black Shine. Now this is the one that I was having the trouble with the sprayer, and it still was giving me trouble here, but I tried a little bit different application technique. Instead of just spraying it on and spreading it around with an applicator or a microfiber pad, I sprayed it on and then dabbed it, and that actually made it both a little more uniform and a little more glossy. Still not high gloss, but kind of a satin finish, a good look there. Pretty pleased with the results of this product, other than the trouble with the sprayer. So here's a look at the two lower gloss side by side. Moving around. Next up is the long-lasting tire dressing. This one's pretty glossy, but like on the car, I was just having a lot of trouble getting it to be a uniform finish. Just seems a little bit patchy. This product's pretty thin. It's hard to get it spread evenly on the tire. And here's a look at the black shine on the left and the long-lasting tire dressing on the right. Definitely a big jump up in the gloss there. And finally, the black shine tire and trim coating, by far the most glossy. Like on the car, this has had quite a bit of time to dry and it still looks sticky and wet, but it is shiny. Here it is next to the long-lasting tire dressing. So these are the two glossiest of the four products. Here are a couple looks under natural outdoor lighting. This first one under Overcast Skies. And in bright sunlight. This black shine tire and trim coating, again with the extended drying time, still looks wet. So I'm gonna touch it and see. Yeah, it makes a fingerprint, so that doesn't appear to be fully drying. And like on the car, just having this unmounted tire sitting out here outdoors, I can see that this black shine tire and trim coating is collecting dust here as well. It's now 2 weeks and almost exactly 350 miles later. And in that time, the car has been driven in light rain only one time and been rained on while parked twice. So not a whole lot of water to deal with over that 2 weeks. So now I'm gonna go around and take a look at how each of the four held up. For all four, I taped off a section in about the 2 o'clock position on each tire and put some fresh product on just to have a side-by-side comparison of fresh versus 2 weeks. Start here with the vinyl and rubber dressing, and this is the one that started by far the most matte of the four, and it's held up well. It's still very uniform looking. It still looks good, natural rubber finish. And here's a look at the contrast of the aged product versus the fresh application. So clearly is a difference, but again, overall the tire is looking pretty good after 2 weeks. Next up is the long-lasting tire dressing, and definitely a bigger drop off here. There's definitely still some product on the tire. When I went to put the masking tape on to do the new application, the tape didn't want to adhere very well, so that tells me that there's still something on the tire. This is the one that in the original application I was having trouble getting it even, but it's looking actually more even after 2 weeks. But again, clearly a big drop off versus fresh product. So not glossy at all after 2 weeks, seems to be mostly gone. Here is the Black Shine High Gloss Tire Spray. Like the long-lasting tire dressing, when I went to do the taping to put on the new product, the tape wouldn't adhere to this tire either, so a good indication that there's still some left. And while that might be the case, like the long-lasting dressing, visually, there's not much gloss left. I don't think it's quite as big a drop-off as the previous one, as the long-lasting tire dressing, but you can see from the new application, it's clearly quite a bit different. This one is also fairly even in terms of what is left, looking uniform, but again, not much gloss remaining at this point after 2 weeks. And finally, the Black Shine Tire and Trim aerosol spray. This is the one that, when fresh, has by far the most gloss, but as I said earlier in the video, it had the most sling and was also picking up dust and debris on the first drive out with it. Big drop off on this one, as you can see from the fresh application there. What's interesting about this one is, while it was the slickest and glossiest, it, during the setup to tape off and spray this extra product, the tape would adhere to this one. So whatever's left is not slick. There is evidence of some product left, but I have to say it's a little bit splotchy, what's visible still on the tire. And really at this point, all four products I would not call glossy after the 2 weeks. I observed after driving this in the rain, the one time that's been driven in the rain early on in the 2 weeks, the product was more or less gone after that one time. So this one's seemingly lacking any kind of durability. Looks good if you like gloss, but it's not a long-term product. Now a quick recap of my primary observations for each product. The long-lasting dressing produced quite a bit of shine, but I found it to be a thin product and difficult to apply evenly. The Black Shine aerosol produced by far the most shine, but didn't seem to ever fully dry, causing it to trap dirt. It was also the least durable of the four. This would be a good choice for a show car, but I wouldn't recommend it for a daily driver. My runner-up, the Black Shine spray. After applying the product to the tire, dabbing it with an applicator pad produced a uniform medium gloss look. Despite losing much of its shine over 2 weeks, it maintained a very even appearance. With ideal shine being a matter of opinion, if you like a bit of pop to your tires, this may be the one for you. And my winner is the vinyl and rubber dressing. With this product, it's easy to produce an even, matte, natural rubber look. It dries quickly and held up well over the 2-week test. With my preference being a low level of shine, this is my top choice. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to find your way back for more garage adventures. Have a great day, and always stay focused.